Hello, viewers. How are you doing? I am Dr. Subhagata Chattopadhyay, and I am in front of you to talk about a very fascinating model. The model talks about or explains how we manage these stressful situations in our life. This model is called as Kubler-Ross change management, grief management, or stress management model. Now, the perspective we all know, we are dealing with COVID and we don't know when the virus will leave us. Suppose the virus doesn't leave us, like influenza, dengue, right? They are staying with us. So, similarly, corona will also stay with us. But the problem with corona is that the virulence factor, the strength of killing and getting people infected is very, very high, right? So, how our brain, this biggest app, is trying to buffer the stress and also some consequential stresses such as worry of business, worry of job loss, worry of profession, worry of traveling, right? When that will be solved and how that will be solved by this app, this brain. It is trying to buffer all these stresses together, right? Parallelly, isn't it? So it's a very tricky situation because our brain doesn't do parallel processing, cannot do that. It can do sequential processing, one after the other. But now we have seen that all the stressful conditions have jumped onto your shoulder together. So the level of stress is very, very high. I am very sure you will find this model relevant, pertinent, and implementable in your life, right? This model actually shows how to become positive from negative through stages. So, my request to you is to stay tuned till the end of the video. If you have any question, any comments, please use YouTube comment box. I will go there and reply to your queries or answer or explain to your comments. I hope you will like this video. So, what is change management? It's a very common term in business. So, similarly, in society also, we face various change managements. I give the simplest example. When you are unmarried versus when you are married, it's a change management, right? You have to adapt to so many new things in life, new responsibilities, new commitments, right? And when you become a father or a mother, it changes again, isn't it? Similarly, during this COVID time, change management has happened. So, how do we define it? It's a process by which we can identify the factors and leading to some implementations as solutions, right? You have gone through various stress, I'm very sure, and you practiced it, the change management. You adapted to it, right? So this can happen in business, this can happen in society, or even this can happen in a computer system, right? So this is all about the change management. Now, when the COVID has come, the similar change management has happened across nations. The jobs which were working for us, right? That is no longer working for us now. For example, people who were working in the malls, shopping malls, restaurants, cinema, theater, they don't know when they will go back to the work, right? We were freely traveling across the world, isn't it? Conveyance was available. Now, conveyance is not available. So, that is the identification of the problems. Now, what are the solutions? As we can see, a term regulated lockdown. That means few things will work and few things will be suspended, remain suspended, right? So, this is balancing between the life and the livelihood, right? So, this is all about the change management. I hope I have defined the change management to you clearly. Now I am coming to the great change management or grief management or stress management model proposed and written by Kubler-Ross in 1969 in her book named On Death and Dying. There, the author mentioned 5 stages. The way we adapt to any change management or stress or grief. And it has been mentioned that all these 5 stages are normal mechanisms, the mechanisms of our this biggest app called brain, right? Now I am coming to the various stages of this model. So stage 1 is called as denial. Denial means, in the terms of or in the perspective of change management, is that why me? Or something is not going to happen to me. I'm denying. I'm denying to be a sufferer. Right? When COVID came, what happened? During December in Wuhan, China, we are watching in the news, written in the newspaper, that a new virus has come and attacked Chinese population, which were spreading within China. And we concluded that India will never be affected. And similar to us, lot of other nations as well. like Italy, Spain, the Europe, then the US, right? We all thought it is not going to affect us, it is their problem. That is denial, right? Now I come to the next stage. Now, the next stage after denial is termed as anger. We become very angry. We become very angry with Chinese people, right? US asked them to get out of their country, right? Everybody was shooting at them, isn't it? This is the phase of anger. After denial, when we see that it is going to affect me also, and the source is somewhere else, we start blaming the source, right? Everybody did it. You can go back and listen to the press conferences of President Trump, blaming vehemently China, Chinese government, WHO, and who not, right? That is anger, the phase of anger, that it is a fact that with no time he will also suffer. So we saw that during COVID pandemic. Now I am coming to the third stage. Now is the third stage. The third stage is the most dreaded stage that we all go. And some people are stuck into that. It is depression, that there is no way out. All my doors and windows are closed, and I bound to suffer. Depression. We saw depression in the face of the strongest country in the world, the US president, right? After a certain time, he stopped talking to the press or making any statements. While seeing the death tolls versus the rate of infection that the country cannot stop, cannot hinder, cannot press the brake, it leads to depression, right? Now, after depression, there is a very interesting step or stage. I am telling you now. This is called bargaining. Why bargaining is the most interesting stage? Because in this stage, you are using your this app. You are becoming a critical thinker. You learn based on self-directed learning. You bring all the learnings that you had through your experience, experiential learning, right? And you analyze, you think that, hey, buddy, this is not going to go so early. I cannot change it, right? But I can modify myself to adapt or cope with it so that I can survive, like a symbiosis. You live, I live, kind of. Live and let live, kind of, right? That is bargaining. I am very proud to tell you we saw India at the very initial stage of COVID. We started our journey from bargaining. Our Honorable Prime Minister made a statement encouraging all of us, the whole nation, to be Atmanirbhar, self reliant, practice safe hygiene, right? Putting mask, social distancing, isn't it? So India started its journey from bargaining. India never went to denial, anger, and depression. A little denial was there initially, a denial from our side, not from the government side, blaming Chinese people, but not from the government side. And I haven't seen anything, any statement against China made by government of India, right? Not yet. I mean, I have not seen. You may see that, but I have not seen. So I conceived that we as a nation dealt with COVID. We are still dealing with COVID with a very matured, a very thoughtful way, led by the government. The overall situation, little issues will be there. Lack of PPEs, lack of testing, I understand. And that is happening with each and every nation. It's not only India. Every nation, even the developed nations, right? We have a lot of money. So, my dear friends, bargaining is something that you come out of depression. There's no point only living with a negative thought. You are imbibing some positive feeling within you. You think positive that, hey, I'm alive. What is the problem? I'm eating, at least I'm eating 2 times. I'm not sick. And my friends and relatives, they are not dying. Right? Look at the death rate of India, 3%. That means administration, doctors, they are all doing very good job under the leadership of government, state government and central government, right? These all give us a very positive vibe that our nation, our government, our leaders, they think of us. And this is the right time to realize it. Okay. Now I am coming to the fifth stage. It is known as acceptance. Finally, you accept that yes, COVID will be there, Corona will be there, like influenza is there, like dengue is there, like malaria is there, like cancer is there, like diabetes is there, hypertension is there, right? So COVID will also be there. Now, how do I modify myself so that I don't get infected with COVID 19? Right? Isn't it? It's a 140 crore population. What is the rate of infection? It's very less, very low. And what is the death rate? Only 3%. So don't you think we are doing very good as a nation? This is the positive vibe. But do not neglect, underestimate, and overlook the dictums lemmas, theorems, and norms set by the authority that maintaining hygiene, wearing mask, social distancing, taking care of yourself, your morbidity. If you are hypertensive, you should be very careful about yourself, your health. If you are diabetic, you should control your sugar, right? So it has given a lot of responsibility. It has also tested how good cook you are, right? How good you can wash your utensils. At the end of the day, you are independent body now. You are not depending on maids or domestic helps. You are doing everything by yourself. That is Atmanirbhar. That is being self. What is that? Next term, you are self sufficient, self reliant, right? Got it? So these two terms, please put it inside that I am Atmanirbhar, I am self reliant, I am self sufficient, and I can do whatever I want, provided I maintain certain protocols, follow certain norms, and I can live a very healthy life, right? So that is acceptance. So those who watched my earlier video that and they lived merrily forever is all about that. Do not be panicked, but be aware. Do not be scared, but be responsible to yourself, your family, your friends, your society, and your nation. We will all follow the norms rest of our life. There is no harm in it, right? So stay safe and stay healthy.